Imagine if something or someone that you support, that you identify with, is referred to as demonic or evil by someone that you look up to, someone that you cheer for. As a pediatrician who takes care of kids every day, I can imagine how troubling that this could be for some children as well as their families. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Dr. David. Hope you're doing well. So recently there was kind of an incident that takes place in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. And as part of their celebration to the workup of Pride, one of their pitchers actually made some pretty disparaging postings on Instagram. And so this pitcher's his name is Anthony Bass, and he literally went on to say that some of the products that Target, as well as Bud Light and some of their actions was demonic, and evil, in terms of their support of the LGBTQ plus community. Now, that brings to light something interesting. You know, we see people on the news, we see the laws, we see all of these things happening. But what happened when it's one of your role models? Someone that you cheer for, on a team that you root for, that you would do anything for, and then you hear these types of words. Imagine especially if you're an impressionable child, okay, where your thoughts maybe still be viewed, or just the fact that you maybe have a family member, or just something else in your life that you are supporting of the LGBTQ plus community, and then here comes a famous baseball player saying that it's evil, that it's demonic. That leaves a mark. That's really can be a big issue for somebody. Now, I can't speak to the mindset of Anthony Bass, the pitcher, to know whether it was really driven by hate by what he said. But what do I know? That this is an example of bigotry in action, which is an intolerance. It's the displaying of intolerance towards a group of people just because of who they are. Okay. And of course, that it causes pain, that there's malice associated with it. That is the definition of bigotry, as we've been talking about. Okay. Now, this pitcher has apologized, since that. He deleted his post, and he said that he deleted it because he thought it was the right thing to do. But then he also said, I stand by my personal beliefs, and everyone is entitled to their personal beliefs, right? Also, I mean no harm towards any group of people. Okay, he may not mean harm to people, but it was harmful. His thoughts are hurtful. Yes, of course he can think whatever he wants. It's a free country, as is Canada, and of course anybody can think what their thoughts are. That's the freedom, that's free will, right? But of course, it doesn't mean that their thoughts wouldn't be hurtful, especially if they're shared with somebody. Now, to his credit, he did go out and say that this is something that he's working on to educate himself. Okay, education, we're all about health education and choice of education, so education is a good thing. And in fact, as part of his education, he did go on to meet with the executive director of Pride Toronto. So one of the important groups, one of the more prominent groups in the area. And as a result of that, he actually was asked and will be catching, he's a pitcher, but the ceremonial first pitch that happens before a lot of baseball games, he will be the catcher on Pride Night and catching a ball from an LGBTQ plus advocate and an activist named Leslie LeCam as part of this baseball series. So, he is willing to go out there and to be seen with, to participate in an event that is supportive of the LGBTQ plus community. So I do give him credit for that, because he obviously could have just decided he had nothing to do with this whatsoever. He'll just go on his own way, having his own thoughts and not post about it anymore. But no, he is actually showing actions that would be that's being a little bit more supportive and understanding. So I do appreciate that. Now, it is interesting to note that in the time, so it was earlier in the month that he actually made these postings leading up to Pride, and twice since he put that post out there, he literally was booed by his own crowd since he made that post. But interestingly, he did go out and say, I get that. I understand why they were doing that, because obviously he's realizing that it was hurtful. I just want them to know, this is what he says, I just want them to know that I'm working hard on myself, a lot of self-reflection. And again, great. It's important. Now, he did go on to say this. My focus from the get-go should have been doing my job and being accepting of everyone's decisions and views in life. Through this process, I've learned that. Moving forward, I will definitely know better than to post my personal beliefs on my social media platforms. Okay. This is education. This is growth. This is evolution. This is realizing that he hurt people. and he wants to do better. Okay, so what do we know? Beliefs, they are hard to change, and he's in fact saying, these are my beliefs. Okay, but actions can be altered going forward. Okay, sounds like this individual, he may be learning that. So we move forward. Have a nice day.